In this video, I'm going to show you a workflow I built that takes a YouTube video and automatically generates a WordPress blog post from it. So let me start by showing you a quick demo of how this works. So I'm going to click on test workflow here. And what it's going to do now is it's going to iterate. It's going to loop 3 times. And at each iteration, it's going to generate a blog post draft from a transcript of my YouTube video. If you go over to my WordPress admin here and click on refresh, it should now start popping up some blog posts here. See if it has finished the first one. It's still working on the first one here. Okay, so now we should have our first blog post here. Let's click on refresh again. And you see now we have our first blog post draft. So if I click on preview here, I can now go in here and preview the blog post. Let's click on edit post. And here you see that we have all the different sections. We can edit them, make changes as we see fit. And the great thing here is also that it is formatted correctly according to WordPress syntax. So each section here is actually a WordPress block. It's not just one big section of HTML, but each section is a WordPress block. You see here, this is a heading section here. This is a heading section. This is a paragraph section. This is a heading 3 and so on. And here we have a placeholder for images. So I can just delete this, add insert an image and so on. So all I have to do now is just some editing, add some images, maybe make a few changes. When everything looks good, I can just click on publish here and I have a complete blog post from one of my YouTube videos. So if I go back here, it has now finished. So if we go back to the admin here, refresh, you see I have 3 drafts. The reason is it's not always that the first generation is the one you like. So I generate 3 different drafts and then I review all of them and I choose the one that fits me best and I edit that one and then I can publish. Okay, let's go back now to the actual workflow and let me explain how this works step by step. So at the first step here, I have this set node where I will set the URL address of my YouTube video, primary keyword for SEO, and there's some secondary keywords here. You see a write file, save file, etc. Then at the next node here, I'm gonna create a temporary directory in my host system at temp. I'm gonna call it work there. Then I'm going to use this directory in here. I'm going to download the video and I'm going to use a command line tool, open source command line tool here, YTDLP, YouTube downloader. And then I'm going to download this video here. You see I get the variable here from video URL from the set node. I get the video URL variable here and it downloads that video into this temporary work directory we created. Then the next step, we're going to change directory into this work directory, and then we're going to call this transcribe video script that I made. It is my own script. It's just a simple script that uses Whisper in the background to transcribe the video. The reason I'm using Whisper here is that the transcriptions you get from the YouTube API isn't very good. And for this kind of blog posts based on tutorial blog posts that I make based on my video, they need to be very precise because they're talking about paths and things like that. So for that reason, I'm using Whisper here that gives you much more precise transcriptions. And the Whisper here is running locally on the same system that my n8n is running now. Okay. Then at the next step, I would just print out the transcript. It's saved as this hyphen.txt file. You get the multiple Whisper outputs, multiple formats. One of them is text. You also have transcriptions with timestamps, but I don't need that. I just want the actual text. So I'm using this text file. So it prints it out here. You can see it here on the right side. And now the looping part. So here I want to generate, based on the transcript we just got, I want to generate 3 posts, 3 drafts, so that I can check all the drafts and choose the one that fits me best to work on and then publish that, edit it and publish it. And the thing is with the loop node here, I haven't found a way where you can just tell it how it should iterate, how many times it should iterate. You have to give it a list of things to iterate over. If you don't have that, it doesn't work. So basically it is like a for each loop in programming languages. I would like something like just a normal for loop where you can give it, a number to loop over, but I didn't find that option to do here. So instead what I did was I created a just arbitrary list with arbitrary values, just that the list is the length I want to loop over. For that I use the code node here just before. It just creates an array here of the num3 because I want to loop 3 times, and the content of the list is just numbers 1, 2, 3, and the key is index. So that's it basically. All of these doesn't really matter, or the key is actually iteration, sorry. All of this doesn't really matter, but there is just the length of the list that matters here. So the length is 3 because I want to generate 3 draft blog posts. Okay, so it's then iterates over this list, and at each iteration it generates a blog post. Here I have my prompt. Over here it uses variables, keywords. It uses the variables from the set node. What's the set node here? Primary keyword, and then secondary keywords. It uses this variable, secondary keywords, and so on. And then it generates a blog post. You can see it here at the right side. A blog post that uses the WordPress syntax. So you can see the WordPress syntax here. It's the sweepy heading stuff. Is HTML comments. That's what tells WordPress that this should actually be a WordPress block. Okay. And I use Google Gemini here because for my prompt, I tested different prompt and model combinations, and Gemini here worked best for my prompt. So that's why I'm using Gemini here. Okay, and then after generating the blog post, I'm also going to extract the title of the blog post here because I'm going to need a title by itself at the next node. So I had a JavaScript script here, and all it does is it uses the regular expression here to extract the title. So you can see here. And then it outputs the title down here. So output, you see it here on the right side. All right. That's what we're going to use at the next node. So now here's the WordPress node that actually creates the post and saves it as a draft that we can access from our WordPress admin. So you see here we have resource post. We're going to create a post, not a page. The operation is create, and then we're going to give it a title, and that's why I used the code node just before to extract the title. So I get the title from the code node here, and content, the content we get from the generate post here. This is the content, we get that there, from there, and the status, I said this is a draft because I don't want the post to be published. I want it to be a draft, so I have 3 drafts. I can go through them manually and choose whatever fits my liking. And that is it basically. And then I have 3 drafts. Go back here to WordPress, and I have my drafts here as I showed you before, and then I can just choose whichever of these drafts that I prefer. So that's basically it. If you'd like something like this built out for you or any other kind of automation, you will find my contact information in the description below. Aside from that, if you found this valuable, please leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, take care.